Hi everyone, this is your mentor Soumyadeep, and just give us 2 to 3 minutes more and we'll start at 1:05. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chinmay. Good morning, Rohan. Good morning, Samadhi. Yeah, Samadhi, we can start now. Yeah.
Okay, sure, sir. Okay. So let me, okay. Hi everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll quickly introduce myself. So just to give a brief that what today's orientation session is about, that today we'll have a 1 hour orientation session where I'll quickly give my introduction, who am I, and then we'll come into what we'll be covering over the next 4 to 5 months. Over this entire course of DSA and advanced system design, what we'll be covering in the 4 to 5 months is what we'll see. Okay. And how the entire sessions will be going on, where will I teach, how will I be sharing notes, or what will I be sharing, etc. Okay, what is the entire flow of our sessions will be is something that I'll try to cover, and then we'll keep a few minutes, 20 to 25 minutes free for any doubts that you guys have, or any queries, career related queries, course related queries, anything. Okay. So, so yeah, a quick introduction about myself. Hi everyone, I'm Soumyadeep Paul, and I'm a software developer at Amazon. Previously, I was at Expedia Group. I have 4 plus years of experience as a software developer, and as a mentor, I've been teaching in different edtech companies. Previously, I've taught in several other edtech companies. I've been teaching from my second, third year of my college. So, and yeah, right now I'm teaching with CodeKerdos, and the main motivation for me to teach with CodeKerdos is that here we really try to focus on each and everyone's performance, each and everyone's. We don't leave anyone behind. We don't give out any recorded sessions. Well, you will be getting the recordings that I'll cover later on, but we don't just randomly give out recordings and then expect people to do it on their own. But here, each and everything that we teach is through live sessions. Everything that we teach is through live sessions, and we take care that each and every one is able to understand everything that we are delivering. And if not, then we'll try to take care of that person in some doubt clearing sessions or other extra sessions, or in any way we can help. Okay. So let me share my screen and showcase the PPT. Just a second. Yeah. Okay. I hope you guys are able to see my presentation. Okay, let it be like this. Okay, let me upload, just a second. Give me a second. Let me upload it on a Google PPT and then present it. Meanwhile, few other people who want to join can also join. Okay, never mind. I'm not able to export this properly, but okay. So let me share it here itself. Okay. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to everyone. If not, let me know. Okay, so what is this? This is a 4-month structured program to crack MAG. Our aim will be to teach you the data structures, teach you the system design concepts that are required to crack any Mang-based company, or not just Mang, any product-based company of that level. Okay. Every data structures concept, we'll try to cover a lot of lead code questions, and that will be our main aim, to solve a lot of lead code based problems which come in companies like these. Then we'll be covering LLD, we'll be covering HLD. And except Google, every other company asks system design, even from fresher level roles right now. So that is our goal. Usually, our main goal is to cover this in 4 months. But usually, what we have seen is it's just a disclaimer that based on our experience, usually people are not able to cover it within 4 months. If you're able to do it, great. But usually, we have seen that people are not able to cover it in 4 months because the content is too much and they need time to prepare, they need time to practice. Okay. So that is why it usually may get stretched maybe a month or so, but that's it. Okay. And that is what we try to not enforce, that, okay, since we are saying that this is one query I've seen people having, that, okay, hey, this you said that this is a 4-month course, but now it has been going on for 5 months, or it took 5.5 months. So see, that is not our primary goal. Please try to understand that from a business point of view, if you see, it is beneficial for them to finish the course as soon as possible. But that is not something we try to do. We try to take care of each and every person who's there in the course. Okay. So it doesn't matter to us if it's going to take 4.5 months, 5.5 months. We are going to give that effort so that each and every person is able to come up to that level, is able to gain all the knowledge and have some basic level of confidence in themselves. Okay. So that is what we try to cover. For the first 2 weeks, so how this will go is, today we are going through this orientation, tomorrow and the next week, Saturday, Sunday. These 3 sessions, we will be covering some basics of Java, because the data structures that we will be covering is in Java. Now, when you are giving an interview in any company, you can give your interview in Java, C, C++, Python, any programming language. Usually, these are the most commonly preferred programming languages. Okay, Java, C++, C being the most commonly preferred. Many companies are fine with Python as well. But yeah, and the reason we go ahead with Java in data structures is because if you end up going into a company, 75% chances are there that you will be working with Java as a software developer. Okay. Maybe right now Kotlin is becoming a bit more popular. So maybe if there are some new services written very recently, maybe you may work with Kotlin. But again, Kotlin is very similar to Java. Or maybe if there are some really legacy code base, then you may work with C++ or maybe Rust or something like that. But Java by far is the most common programming language. From the past 4 years, I have been using Java and Kotlin, and every one of my friends or every one of my peers who I've seen working in similar big top-notch product-based companies also use Java. Some I've seen using C++, sometimes Kotlin. Kotlin is becoming really popular nowadays, but still, what I have seen in the industry right now is that Java is the most popular language. Java is the most commonly used programming language. So that is the reason we have chosen Java for data structures course. So yeah, so coming back to the schedule, today we are having orientation. Tomorrow and next week, Saturday, Sunday, we'll be having short 1 hour sessions where I covered the basics of Java. So that if anyone knows Java, it's great for them. Great. It'll be a quick revision. But if someone doesn't know Java, for them it will be a quick learning of a new programming language. Okay, and I don't think so. It should be difficult for anyone because see, the concepts of a programming language are the same. It's the same across every programming language. The syntax is really what is changing. Okay. So once this week, Saturday, Sunday, next week, Saturday, Sunday goes by, and I have covered the basics of Java, then from next week, I'll be starting data structures. Okay. And we'll spend about 2 months of data, 2.5 months of data structures. And then we'll spend about 1 month on LLD. And usually LLD gets finished in 1 month. 1 month for LLD is pretty good. 3 to 4 weeks, LLD is easily finished. And then we'll cover HLD. HLD usually sometimes take a bit more time. Not in covering the concepts. We are able to cover the concepts pretty easily in a month, but usually I've seen people requesting a few more sessions where we cover some interview-based questions, where we cover some complex designs, designing how to design some complex systems. So yeah, HLD again may go to maybe a month, 1.5 months or so. Okay. So that is usually the timeline of this course. Next slide. Yeah, I guess I have already told you about myself. Repeating it again just for the sake of the slide. Currently, I'm a software developer at Amazon. Previously, I've worked for almost 4 years at Expedia. Okay, this should be 4+ years of experience, not 5, but okay. And yes, I've easily I have taught over 1,000+ people. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is our 4-month course roadmap. For the first 1-2 weeks, we are covering Java foundations, basics of Java. Then months 1 to 3, okay, by mistake here it's written 5, but okay, you can consider this from 1 to 2.5. So from months 1 to 2.5, we'll be covering data structures, arrays, strings, linked lists, queues, stacks, hash maps, trees, graphs, tries, dynamic programming, greedy, backtracking, recursion. Okay, and our goal will be to cover the really concepts, the corner concepts which most people leave. Because I can assure you, if you're going to give an interview in some Google or Amazon or Microsoft, they won't be asking you a question based on queues, stacks, linked lists. No, they'll ask you really corner questions. I gave my interviews in Google and Amazon very recently, and trust me, if I list down the topics that I was asked questions on, they were, first of all, it was a graph-based question based on topological sort. I've seen people completely skip topological sort. Then I was asked a question on Bellman-Ford algorithm. Then I was asked a question based on tries. Then I was asked a question based on union find algorithm. So mostly, and then there was a really tough question on backtracking. So mostly these top-notch product-based companies, they ask questions which are really towards the end of data structures, which most YouTube courses, most courses miss out. Okay. And they are going to be tough. They are going to be really tough. Complex graph algorithms, Bellman-Ford, Prim's algorithm, they are tough. But we have to cover them anyway. Okay. So that is where our main focus will lie. And then the last 2 months, we'll be focusing on system design, LLD and HLD. Okay. So yeah, first 2 weeks, Java foundations. And I won't waste much time here in the Java foundations. During this Java foundations, we'll have just 1 hour sessions, compact 1 hour sessions. After 1 hour, if you want to take more time for any questions and all, feel free to take. But yeah, compact 1 hour Java sessions. And yeah, after that, when we start data structures, so this is today is week 1, today and tomorrow. Next Saturday, Sunday will be week 2. And then week 3 will be starting data structures. So we kind of consider from week 3 to be the actual start of the course. So when we'll be starting data structures, from then we'll be having 2 hour sessions. Okay. And after 2 hour sessions, we can extend to 2.5 hours, 3 hours based on if anyone have any questions. Okay. We the mentors at CodeKerdos, we never shy off from any questions. If you have any queries, I don't care. I will be taking your sessions. I can assure you that I won't care. Yeah, sorry. I can assure you that I won't care how many questions you have. I taught you stuff for 2 hours. After that, if you have any queries, the session may extend till 2.5 hours, 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I don't care. But our goal will always be to clear all the doubts as much as possible. Okay. So yeah. But yeah, be prepared, mentally prepared for at least attending 2 hour sessions. And see, we will provide you the recordings, but we don't want you to watch the recordings and solely watch the recordings. See, as a mentor who has taught for 6-7 years, what I have seen that this way of study is the most effective, and that is attend the sessions. Okay. And I'm not asking you to attend the sessions with full attention. Relax, watch it like a movie, have tea, have coffee, and just relax and watch it like a movie. But just make sure that you understand each and everything. Okay. You understand it conceptually. You may not remember it, but if you again watch it, or if someone tells you that same thing, you'll immediately, it will hit your mind that, oh yes, I remember the concept. So just relax, watch the 2 hour session like a movie, ask queries if you're not able to understand, and just try to understand everything. Once you have done that, within 24 hours, watch the recording. We'll provide the recording immediately within 3 to 4 hours. Then within 24 hours, watch the recording and make proper notes. So that after a year or two, if you want to revise those data structure notes, if you want to revise data structure, if you want to revise LLD or HLD, you don't have to buy any other course. You don't have to go through some YouTube courses or some paid courses. You can just come back to your notes and revise. Because trust me, data structures and system design is not going anywhere. Until and unless you reach some managerial role, if you're an SD1, SD2, SD3, senior dev, until and unless you are in some managerial role, in some managerial capacity, you will be giving interviews based on data structures and system design. You cannot escape that. Okay. So that is why it is very, very essential. And you are spending big bucks, right? You are spending multiple thousands on this course. So please take proper advantage of it. Fully acquire all the knowledge, so that this will last you not just a few months. This is a 4 or 5 month course, but the knowledge should last you for maybe 8-10 years. Yeah, okay, after 10 years, maybe the stuff are changing. Maybe instead of Redis, there are some more latest caching solutions. Instead of AWS, there are some more advanced cloud solutions. Then yeah, that is a different stuff. Things changed. But if things are not changing, then this should last you. Okay. So yeah, that is what I suggest. That is what I have seen in my own experience, that people who follow this method, that they understand everything in the session by listening thoroughly everything in the session, and then later on watch the recording again and make good notes. So first you're understanding by watching, viewing, and listening. Second time, you're again watching stuff and listening it again, and also writing it, and maybe while writing, you're also speaking it. So literally viewing it, watching it, hearing it, speaking it, writing it. You're going through all four forms of knowledge acquiring. Okay. So that is what I would like to suggest, but mostly I see people don't follow it. But yeah, people who do follow it, they really do great stuff. Okay. So yeah, after that, from week 3 onwards, which we kind of count as the week 1, actual week 1, we start the Java foundations. We cover everything in Java. As I mentioned, our main focus will be towards the end corner concepts. Okay. Because big top-notch product-based companies which really pay you really, really well, 20, 30 LPA even for freshers, they ask you those corner concepts. And because that is what differentiates normal preparation with an advanced preparation. A normal preparation guy will maybe get bored by the time he reaches graphs. But someone who does that extra effort will really cover all those corner concepts. Okay, so that is what we want to cover. Okay. Yeah. Then we have data structures and algorithms. And here we try to cover all those data structures. Few are not mentioned here, but yeah. Okay, arrays and strings, linked lists, stacks, queues, hash maps, trees, binary search trees, generic trees, heaps, priority queue, kind of the same thing. Tries, graphs, dynamic programming, DP, very DP. Dynamic programming is literally the most important topic in entire DSA. If you just know dynamic programming, because this dynamic programming topic, it's a little difficult topic. Usually I've seen people skip it, but please, this is something we cannot skip. From this one topic, a lot of other topics are connected. From this entire backtracking as a topic, backtracking is completely dependent on dynamic programming. Trees, binary search trees are completely dependent on dynamic programming. Okay, a lot of questions, recursion. Okay, so and then the basic base of dynamic programming is recursion. So recursion is something we have to really understand properly, because then from recursion we come dynamic programming, and then we cover all these backtracking trees, binary search trees, generic trees, graphs. A lot of linked lists, queues, stacks questions are also based on recursion. So recursion is one topic which is used in almost every other topic. Tries as well. Okay. So yeah, these are the topics that we want to cover in data structures, and few topics are not mentioned, but trust me, we'll cover everything. And someone joined. Just a second.
Yeah, I'll make him in. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So yeah. Then we have arrays and strings. Obviously, these are some common algorithms. KMP algorithm. Yes. KMP pattern matching is also I was asked. Yeah, some common problems. Very common lead code questions. Container with water, longest substring without repeat. Very common lead code based questions. And the thing is that preparing for these top-notch product-based companies is not that hard. Yes, it will take a lot of your time. Trust me, when I was preparing for Amazon, what I did, I'll just share what I did. I just went to lead code. I clicked on problems, and just a second. Yeah, I chose Amazon here. I clicked on Amazon to get all the questions that were asked in Amazon. And then I sorted them based on frequency. And then I chose the last 3 months. This. And then, so now I have got a list of all the questions that were asked in Amazon in the last 3 months in decreasing order of frequency. And I kept on doing all of them. See, all of them. You'll see a tick in every one of them. I didn't leave a single question. All of them. Kept on doing all of them. You see, all of them. And these are a few questions that may be coming here, which is it's showing that I have not done, maybe because this got updated. Because I was preparing for Amazon about a few months ago. So things may have got updated and some new questions may have come up. So right now, even if you see, I have done 241 questions out of 366 questions. When I was actually solving them, I did 300. Some new questions might have come up. So my the number of questions solved is showing 241. And all of these questions, they're all based on some few patterns. So if you really do a few, maybe 100, 150, you get an idea of those patterns. Okay. So then the rest becomes really easy for you. Okay. So yeah. So yes, that is what we try to do. That whenever we are covering these questions, arrays, strings, linked lists, stacks, queues, anything, we keep on trying to cover medium and hard level questions in lead code. And in my opinion, medium level questions are more than enough. If you're able to solve the medium level question, that is literally more than enough. Okay. Very rarely you may get a hard level question in these interviews. Very rarely. Usually you don't. Okay. Usually you don't. But yeah, if things are unlucky, and see, it is not that you'll become an expert on lead code and you'll be able to solve every question. Even I'm not able to solve every question. Okay. But what I'm able to solve is that easy question for sure. I am that much sure that any easy question I can solve it within 5 minutes. Medium questions, yes, I can maybe do with a 70-75% accuracy any medium question. Hard questions are hard. Even I cannot do all of them. I may have a 20-30% accuracy. Maybe one third of the hard questions I see, I'll be able to do them. Okay. Or maybe a one fourth or one fifth of the hard questions I see, I'll be able to do them. Okay. But yeah, with time, I hope I'll be able to do many more of them. So yeah, and what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to show the importance of data structures. Even right now, even when I am working in a company which is paying really good, but still I am still solving data lead code. Here you see on the top left, I still have lead code tabs opened up. I still solve lead code. I try to solve one question every single day. Okay. So as to keep my skills sharpened. And trust me, this is the biggest myth you'll hear in market, कि भाई lead code is not required in development. If anyone says lead code is not required in development, then that person has not worked in good development based projects. Good development based projects where you're literally worried about millions of people using your product, you will use data structures. You will use complex algorithms. Okay. People who think that people who have never used any complex data structure while trying to uh, build a software haven't really built really good softwares. I can assure you for that. Companies aren't not crazy. If Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Netflix, Rubrik, Roku, if these companies are asking complex hardcore data structure questions, then they're not crazy. Okay, so yeah, this is something you have to fall in love with, because this is something you have to probably do till you reach a managerial level, and this is something we'll try to cover in depth over the next few months. Linked lists and some common concepts of single linked lists, double linked lists, circular linked lists, circular single, circular double, etc. Some classic operations, some classic some very classic questions. Cycle detection is a very common question. Middle node is a very common question. Check polynomial. These are easy level questions, but there's some very common questions. Then stacks, queues, hashing, trees, binary trees, tries, prefix trees. Tries is what is used to store string data. Okay. Any database you are creating and you want to store some, if you're already creating a ready-made database to store strings, they probably might be using tries internally. If you're using some in-memory database for temporary storage to be used as a cache or something, you will be using tries. Graphs, dynamic programming, really important and fun concept. One of my favorite topics is dynamic programming. Greedy backtracking. Okay. And then we will come into system design. And in my opinion, system design is a lot more easier than data structures. Okay. System design, LLD, HLD will be a lot more easier than lead code. Because mastering system design is a bit more easier. You need to study stuff, and within 3-4 months of, if you're a complete beginner, 3 4 2 3 months of learning concepts, and then few months of reading some really good articles, and then you'll get the knack, you'll get the hang of it. Okay. So in my opinion, mastering system design is a bit more, or I would say way more easier than lead code. Lead code takes time. Lead code really takes time. Okay. So, and when, see, lead code also requires a lot of patience. Data structures, DSA coding requires a lot of patience. And as a coder, you will see that there are two phases of finding solutions, of solving lead code. First phase is when you're able to think of a solution. Okay. You're able to think of a logic, an algorithm. Okay. Second phase is being able to convert that logic into actual code. Different people are good in different things. If I talk about myself, from my college days itself, I was not that good at logic thinking. That happened with practice. Even right now, I don't think I'm very good at logic thinking, but I was always good at writing code. Means if someone gave a very complex algorithm also, I would be able to write the code for that algorithm. Okay. I may not be able to come up with the algorithm, but I'll be able to write that algorithm. Okay. So you may be good at one thing, bad at the other, and with time, things will improve. Okay. And I'll also teach you, I'll show you how to use Chat GPT's help to improve your your lead code. Okay. So yeah, we'll be covering the solid principles, just for the sake of, but yeah, don't worry. I see so many YouTube channels, so many people making you mug up solid principles. You don't need to mug up these principles. Solid principles, design patterns, people literally mug them up. There are so many design patterns, 20-25 design patterns. You don't need to mug them up. Just need to know, because they're interesting stuff, but no one is going to ask you point blank, oh, tell me what are the solid principles, or oh, tell me what is this design pattern, or name all the 20-25 design patterns, or this is a design pattern, tell me what it does. No one is going to ask that. If anyone is asking that, that's not a company worth working for. Okay, that's an idiot manager. So yeah, you don't need to. I'll cover them. I'll definitely cover them. All these design patterns. There are a few more. Not all of them are written here, but yeah, uh, you don't need to mug them up. Okay. I also don't remember all of these things. We'll definitely do a lot of practice problems. That is required. Very required. LLD, HLD are more learned through practice than through actual theory covering. Okay. And so these are some unique. I feel these are some systems which cover a lot of uniqueness. Each one of them is different from the other. And if we cover these, we will be covering a lot of ground. So that any new question you come up in an interview will probably be similar to one of these systems. Okay. So yeah. Then, and yeah, we cover these problems in a very interactive way. It won't be that, oh, I told you, bhai, we'll be covering parking dot system. Now this blah blah blah, this is the solution. No. We will be spending good amount of time. I'll be spending good amount of time in hearing stuff from you. What are your thoughts? How will you design it? We'll have proper discussion. Peeps among you will be discussing. Okay. We'll figure out the pros and cons of every such decision. And then we'll come up with a solution by discussing among ourselves. Okay. Then we'll cover the core concepts of HLD, scalability, different ways of scalability. There are a few concepts: load balancing, different algorithms, different ways of load balancing, caching, different ways of caching, databases, different types of databases, which one to use when. Very commonly used. Databases are not just an HLD concept, but even an LLD concept. Very frequently used LLD thing. Okay. You should be very thorough with what are the different types of databases: PostgreSQL, MySQL, any SQL databases, NoSQL databases, Cassandra, DynamoDB, uh, uh, Hive, then DocumentDB, CockroachDB, lots of databases are there. Okay, lots of databases. MongoDB. So you need to know which database to use when. Then messaging queues, APIs, very important concepts in HLD. Okay. So these are some more concepts of HLD. Yeah, H-based, Neo4j, some really important databases. And then we'll also be covering a lot of HLD practice problems. We might not cover all these 10 HLD practice problems. We'll cover probably some six to eight of those. Yeah, but few of these problems will be given to you as homework so that you take your time, you think it through, and then I'll give you the solution. Okay. Okay. Then we'll also invite a few guest lecturers where people who are also working in man companies just like I am, and they'll also share their experiences with you, their interviews, the questions that they received in their interviews. Okay. Those may not be recorded sessions because we are not really allowed to completely give out the interview questions. But if we are doing so, we may not record those sessions. Okay, so yeah, a little bit brief overview of what you'll achieve over the next 4 months. Take this as a 4 to 5 months, or yeah, even if you, sorry, but yeah. Uh, so yeah, that is what I had to cover, and I've been speaking for the past 35-40 minutes. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions, queries regarding me, regarding any career paths, regarding the course. And then yeah, also just one tiny little thing that I want to cover is how I'll teach the sessions. So during the sessions, I'll cover those sessions in a whiteboard. We'll have a proper whiteboard like this, where I'll be covering everything. I'll be making notes, and then I'll share these whiteboard PDF notes, and we'll be writing a lot of code during the sessions. I'll also share the code snippets that I wrote during the sessions. Okay. So you'll be, after the end of every session, you'll be receiving three things. First is the recorded lecture. Second is the whiteboard notes that I wrote during the session. And third is the code snippets, the actual running code that I wrote during the session. Okay. So yeah, that is what I wanted to cover. Now feel free to ask any query that you have. And if not, if there are no queries, that's also fine.
We'll be covering few projects also as part of this.
Yes, so all the projects that I mentioned will be these. कहाँ गया? Yes, the practice problems are the projects. These are what will be. See, in data structures, you won't have any projects. What will you have as a project in data structures? You'll be having a lot of assignments, but there are no projects. And yeah, in HLD, LLD, these are the practice problems, which as a project, see, because what we are trying to do is we are trying to cover these. Sorry, yeah. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to cover as many unique systems as we can, so that any question that comes in your interview will have a high probability of being similar to any of the existing systems that you have already solved. So that is what a target is. So that is why we try to cover different types of scenarios, different types of problems, different types of systems, so that you get a similar scenario and you're able to do really good in your interviews. So yeah. Any other queries, questions? I'll stop my screen share.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, hi.
Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mohammed.
Good afternoon.
So, yeah, my doubt was like, so Saturday, Sundays are for the lectures, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
from Monday to Friday, how much assignments, like how many questions can we expect? Because we will be solving after working hours. Like, so, so how?
See, what I feel is that, say, for example, what are your working hours? if you don't mind sharing them.
It's 10 to 11 hours. Like it starts from 10 a.m. in the morning. It goes till 7 to 8 or sometimes 9.
Okay. So in that case, obviously, see, there is no upper limit. The more you do, the merrier. Okay.
Yeah.
But what we target is that every student should do at least one lead code question a day. Okay. So that is what we try to do. That yes, we can give more assignments than that. And I'll also be solving those questions. Few questions will be, or maybe I can say 50% of the questions will be questions which I have already solved. 50% will be which I also haven't solved, because I also keep doing lead code questions. As I said, that even right now I solve at least one lead code question every single day. If you see my profile graph, it's completely filled. So yeah. And so that is what we'll do. I'll keep on giving you 1 to 2 lead code questions every single day. And if you're not able to do, if you have some backlog, I would suggest to do it after the data structures have already been completed. That is completely fine, because the last 2.5 months will be system design, where you won't be getting questions where you have to sit and code. We'll be getting assignments where you have to think, and that is a system design assignments are a bit easier, and you won't have lots of assignments. System design assignments are a bit easier than lead code assignments. And so yeah, you can utilize that time to do the remaining lead code questions. But yeah, I would suggest you to start targeting maybe with 1 question a day. On the weekends, you can do more than that. And I'll also try to give 1 question on the weekdays and 2 to 3 questions on the weekends.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Hey, hi. Chinmay this side.
Yeah, hi.
So how that pattern will be like once we are once you are teaching arrays and strings, then all the assignments and data structures questions will be based on that, right? So what
Yes, obviously, yes.
and what will be the course means classes? Like it will be on Saturday, Sunday, or
Yes,
weekdays also?
Saturday, Sunday, mostly 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. We haven't exactly been fixated on a time. We'll take a poll, or maybe Shubham sir will confer with all of you once. But usually we have seen people are not that comfortable towards the evening or night time, because again, it's a weekend. And so we don't keep it on weekdays, because again, as Kundan was saying, many of you are working professionals. So even if I may have the flexibility, you guys may not. So again, weekdays is something we don't keep. So weekends, morning or afternoon is what we are left with. So usually this 12 to 2 or 1 to 3 is what we keep.
Okay, no problem. So if sometimes we are having any doubts or anything in weekdays also, so we can connect with you.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. If you have a specific doubt, feel free to ask me. If it's just a small doubt, then I'll try to cover it in the session itself. I'll tell you, hey, wait for the coming session. I'll cover it there itself after the session. That okay, once I'm done with the session, I'll tell you, hey, Chinmay, wait for a few minutes. I'll cover your doubt right now. If it's a big doubt, or if you have a big doubt, or if multiple students have multiple smaller doubts, then I'll keep a separate doubt clearing session. So yeah, in whichever way we see it fit.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure. The goal will be to solve. If I'm not available, we may try to find some other mentor who may take your doubt clearing session. The goal, we may not be able to solve it out instantly. For example, if you came across a doubt today, we may not be able to solve it. Yeah, if it's during the weekends, definitely during the session. If it's during the weekdays, we may not be able to solve it within a day or two, but within a week for sure.
Sure. Yeah, good. Thanks.
So we'll be getting the question on the platform itself. So right now I'm not getting any course or anything. So every day we'll get some question on the platform.
Yes, on the platform. Or I'll also share the mostly it will be on the platform. Our goal will be on the platform. If not, we'll also try to share lead code links. So yeah, if that question is directly on the lead code, probably we may give directly the lead code link. If not, if that is some question we have sourced from someplace else, then we might give it on our platform. But yeah, that maybe Shivam sir will be able to answer properly in a better way. But yeah, at the end, what matters is we need to do a good number of questions every day.
And about system design, you told that we'll be doing the project. So, like on YouTube and everywhere, we see that it's just a theory for the system design. So, how we are going to proceed with the system design? Like, we are going to do some practical implementation
No,
of the projects, or like how?
in system design you can't do practical, because in system design you don't have any such projects where you can write it in your resume, or any practical projects, because every company that asks system design, it's only theoretical. Okay, so first of all, no company is asking any practical response to a system design question. And secondly, you cannot really do a practical response, because what are we thinking about? Say we are thinking that, okay, I'll have a load balancer. This load balancer will be connected to a Redis database for maybe, say, some rate limiting cache, rate limiting algorithm. Then I'll have some server. That server will have some replication factor of 3, etc. So how will you spin up a database? How will you spin up a load balancer? How will you spin up a Redis cache? So you really cannot have practical projects on system design. So it's theory, and by practical you can say in LLD you may have like diagrams and all, a lot of diagrams and stuff. In HLD as well you have a lot of diagrams, but that's you won't be coding in system design. That I can assure you. You won't be coding, or you won't be doing any physical implementation of system in system design.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, only just an estimation, like what after this end of this 4 to 5 months, how many number of problems we are looking at? Total
Again,
number of problems, yeah, in the
again,
class plus the assignments.
yeah. Again, I will say the sky is the limit. There is the more the merrier. But if you say, as I was saying, one question a day, that makes you 13 to 5, 150 questions. And if you are able to do more than one, say 2 questions in the weekends, so how many weekends you'll have? 8 weekends on a month. So 8 5s are 40 weekends a month. So 150 plus 40, 190. So let's say 200. 200 will be a really good number of questions that you can target in 5 months, I'm saying. So
Yes,
if you're able to do 200, at least 200, good efforts on the data structures side.
okay.
Yeah. See, it all depends on how much someone is able to. In my previous batch, one person was able to do more than almost 700, 800 questions. While I was preparing for Amazon, Google, I did almost 350 questions in 2 months. Like I was doing a lot of questions, more sometimes 10, 15 questions a day. I was spending the whole day doing lead code. So if you're able to do a lot of questions, then great, but at least one should be done. So yeah. Okay. So I feel there are no queries or doubts anymore. Great. So in that case, I will see you all from tomorrow. So as I will just quickly reiterate that tomorrow and next week, Saturday, Sunday, are 3 sessions, which will be short 1-hour sessions where I'll be covering the basics of Java. Okay. And then after that, we'll be starting data structures. Okay. So yeah, Shubham sir, you were saying something, I guess.
No. Thanks. Just I was saying thanks for your time. And yeah, like let's meet tomorrow then. Thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, those
Yeah.
details will be shared in the group. Okay, so for the tomorrow class, and also like we will going to share you